Ever wondered how a Jaffa cake is made? You know, that perfect little treat with a soft sponge base, zesty orange jelly, and a smooth layer of chocolate on top? Today we're going inside one of the UK's busiest biscuit factories to see exactly how they crank out 42 million Jaffa cakes a week. Yeah, you heard that right. 42 million per week. But first, let's go back in time. So what actually is a Jaffa cake? Is it a biscuit? Is it a cake? That debate has been going on for decades, and we'll get to that later. Jaffa cakes were first introduced in 1927 by McVitie and Price, a British company known for making biscuits and baked goods. The name Jaffa comes from the variety of orange, the Jaffa orange, known for being sweet and juicy. Originally sold in boxes of 12, these treats were a hit because of their unique texture. Soft like a cake, but packaged and eaten like a biscuit. And in case you're wondering, yes, they've been at the center of actual legal debates over whether they should be taxed like a biscuit or a cake. Spoiler alert, legally, they're cakes, but practically, people treat them like a biscuit. So, both? Now let's fast forward to today. The process starts at the very beginning with the delivery of wheat flour. One massive tanker can hold enough flour to make 9 million Jaffa cakes. That's just one delivery. That gives you an idea of the scale we're talking about. Once inside the factory, the flour is blended with sugar, eggs, water, and a few other ingredients to make the sponge batter. It's light, fluffy, and designed to rise just the right amount during baking. The depositor, basically a precision batter gun, squirts 6.4 grams of sponge mix onto pre-greased trays, and they don't mess around. That conveyor belt is pumping out 2,538 cakes per minute. Then they head into the first zone of the oven, where it's about 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit, just enough heat to start setting the sponge. By the second oven zone, the heat kicks up to 215 degrees Celsius, 419 degrees Fahrenheit. That's where the magic happens. Bubbles in the mix start to expand, making the sponge rise and puff up. Finally, in the third zone, the heat reaches 250 degrees Celsius, 482 degrees Fahrenheit, giving the cakes a slightly crisp golden finish on the outside while keeping that soft, fluffy interior. There are about 15,000 cakes in the oven at any given time. It takes just over 6 minutes to bake each batch. Once baked, the sponges are left to cool on massive conveyor belts. Now here comes the signature move, the orange jelly. It's made with real fruit juice turned into a gel and then cooled until it reaches the perfect bouncy texture. Machines then precisely drop a small disc of jelly right into the center of each cake. The jelly has to be stable enough not to melt, even as the cakes move on to their next hot step. The chocolate. Here's the part we all secretly love most. The chocolate layer. Each sponge is passed under a curtain of liquid chocolate that perfectly coats the top without dripping over the edges. That's why the base stays spongy, not soggy, but that's not the end. Every cake goes through a laser-guided quality control system. The goal? Each one has to measure 55 millimeters across and 9.25 millimeters in height. No exceptions. Even the jelly's position is checked by cameras, because we don't want lopsided Jaffas, right? And when they're packed into trays of 12, there's a final check. The combined height of all 12 sponges has to fall between 105 millimeters and 115 millimeters. If they're too squashed or too puffy, out they go. Once approved, the cakes are gently pushed into plastic trays and sealed into their iconic orange and blue packaging. From there, they're boxed, palletized, and shipped to supermarkets across the world, not just the UK. You can find Jaffa Cakes in Europe, Australia, the Middle East, and even select stores in the US, though they're still considered a bit of a novelty outside the UK, so there you have it. From wheat flour to sponge, jelly, and chocolate, the Jaffa Cake is a masterpiece of precision baking. And whether you treat it like a biscuit, a cake, or just your guilty pleasure with a cup of tea, there's no denying the sheer scale, history, and craftsmanship behind every single bite. Oh, and next time someone says, it's just a snack, remind them, 42 million Jaffa Cakes a week. That's not a snack, that's a movement.